А как мне выключить звук здесь? Вот сейчас я выключу, чтобы у меня это...
Ну, у него сейчас выключен, у тебя включен. Но это с компьютера.
Good morning.
Hi, Miles.
Hello, hello. Howdy, howdy.
Just a second. I don't know where is the volume. Where is the volume? Где-то тут должно быть функция 2. Как ты сделаешь ограничить?
Вот звук меньше, вот звук громче. Другой компьютер тоже F. Где F? Нажимай. Ага, Вова пошел.
Так это максимум получается.
Нет, 84, ты что?
Ну, почти максимум. Say something.
Good morning.
Something.
Howdy, howdy.
It's exactly the same song.
Can you hear me?
Very quietly. It's very quiet. Okay, we need to find speakers.
But can you hear us? Is that okay?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you very clearly.
Yeah, because we have some kind of issues with the computer. So now we have two computers and we're now trying to understand which one to use.
Okay.
Okay, just... как мне теперь на мьют его поставить?
I can't hear anything. No sound.
I was asking a few minutes ago to help me and remember it. But anyway, so today I would like to, I'm a president, I'm always shy a little bit about it because first of all, not only me doing something to our club, there are some people here and I would like to recognize them right away. Anna Rubinina, our VP, Vice President of Education, our VP PR, Irina Gurtavaya, Ira, takes care of Instagram, Telegram channel, by the way, and all this stuff. Also, we have our treasurer, Valeria Kholakova. Okay, and also we have Tatiana Gladышeva, she's our secretary, and she always takes care of all agenda stuff, all cookies. By the way, during break, you can join us around this table and enjoy this meal. What else? Also, I would like to share my experience with Toastbusters, basically. I joined this club. It was 1.5 years ago, and from the beginning it was quite difficult for me because job, family, some other responsibilities, and I couldn't engage in all activities. However, the more I participated in all activities, not only this particular club, but also in some other clubs and in conference. By the way, this Saturday we have a conference, division conference. That means people from our club and basically two leaders from our club, they are going to, one is here and another she's sick right now. Two wonderful person is going to present our club in division level. What does it mean? She's going to compete with other Toastmasters in some contest, basically a table topic contest. And today we will have a table topic, and any new people, newcomers, will have a chance to participate in this stuff. What else? So it was difficult from the beginning. However, after that, the more I participated, the more I really fell in love with not only with this club, but with all community, Toastmasters community. And there are almost 15,000 clubs all over the world in 144 countries. So to cut a long story short, before we moved to our Toastmaster of the Day, which is also new member. Oh, Sasha! And this is a tradition to recognize any guest we have here today. So please come on stage and introduce yourself, whatever content also. You can say a few words, please. All newcomers. You can say your name, you probably already know your name, why you are here, and what is your expectation.
I can start.
Yeah.
I'm very glad to be here today. My name is Ekaterina. Last name of Anna. When we first met when we were 10 years old. And since then, for almost 38 years. We are going through many things which are happening in our lives. Please forgive me because I didn't speak English for quite some time, and my language may be not very English in its tone of voice or style, I don't know. So who am I? Who I am? Who am I? I'm the next staff member of the United Nations. I'm an ex-director of several non-commercial humanitarian and charitable organizations. Now I'm leading a project which is intended to help people and companies and organizations in using artificial intellect instruments and neural networks in their life and in their work. Very interesting sphere. And I invited him to get acquainted with it. And I'm here because Anya is a member of this club for several years. As I've heard many good things from Anya about what is happening here, and I was always thinking about one day and seeing with my own eyes what is happening here. And I must say, just several days ago, I participated in a conference where there was a speaker who mentioned in her self-presentation that she is a member of Toastmasters. And asked her if she knows my classmate. She did. So when I invited me to come here today, I thought it is a good chance to
Okay. Yeah, because we have online audience too.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Maria. And a week ago, I by accident met you on the Toastmasters Russian version. And I'm a psychologist and I help people very fast. I'm a midlife therapist. It's not very popular in Russia. But I can help very fast people to change their life. And one thing is with which I help is the public speaking. However, I can help them to avoid the fear, but I cannot provide them a public and audience. So I'm searching for some places where they can come and practice after my help, such that they will make their brain to work in a way that it's not only something artificial that I gave them this opportunity that they can come and go on a stage, that they really can check and come and go on a stage. So thank you very much for invitation and thank you very much for a role today.
Thank you.
I'm the tallest person as usual. Yeah. Hi, my name is Lina, and I'm a professional English teacher, actually. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I would say that I'm a very multifaceted person. Despite like teaching and being totally involved in teaching, I also like do sport like boxing, running. I'm also a drama teacher. Yeah, but I would say, a little bit stage fright. Yeah, it sounds like weird because like I'm a drama teacher and I'm an English teacher. I mean, I feel comfortable with my students, like 100%. But with like strangers, I would say this is my fear. That's why I would like to overcome this fear. I read the information that I can actually practice, performing in public. And this is my chance, I guess. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Now I'm happy to announce our Toastmaster and introduce our Toastmaster of the day, Alexandra Fedorenko.
Thank you very much. I'm so sorry. So the other day, Anna Rubinina asked me to be a Toastmaster of the day. And the worst question for me is always, what is the topic going to be? Because I never know. When I prepare a speech, I don't know what I want to talk about. It usually comes at the last minute. But this time I had to think well in advance. And I came across this quote. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Have you ever heard it before? Yeah?
Yes,
Cool. Yeah, there were some people. Nice. So, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. This quote is attributed to Oscar Wilde. Did you know that? Yeah. So when I saw this phrase, it got me thinking, this is kind of good quote, right? Because when we are born and when we grow up, what do we have? We have our parents, we have our teachers, we have our mentors, the society, our friends tell us what and who to be, right? And what happens? We try to be what they expect us to be. And it doesn't really make us happy because we want to be loved, we want to be admired, we want to be accepted, and definitely we don't want to be judged. So that got me thinking, what if this is not the right thing to do? But usually when you are tiny little kids, you don't really have a choice, right? However, we do grow up. And I can tell you about a different thing that we can do. However, before that, I would like you to meet my team today, the people who are going to help me host this meeting. Every person who's going to come on stage during my part got asked a single question. Look at the topic today and ask a question. Give a piece of advice to a younger self on the topic of whether you want them to be themselves or not. So I'd like you to welcome on the stage the first person who's going to come here with the thought of the day. However, she will give the answer to this question in her thoughts. So please welcome Anastasia Bushivarova. Do you believe in yourself? Do you love yourself? Are you enough? All these questions we often ask ourselves. Love, belief, and self-acceptance are very important pieces of being yourself. You don't even imagine to pretend when you are a person who first follow your own principles and in decision making. Second, believe in your abilities and understand your own goals. Third one, accept your weaknesses. And the last one, love yourself and take care about yourself. I'm sure that everyone knows all these things. And someone even confirmed, I know it. Why are you speaking about it? But we usually have to remember about it, to remind about it to ourselves. So let's repeat together. I believe in myself. I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. I am enough. I am enough. Thank you. This is like meditation. We can record it and repeat it every morning when we look into a mirror. I believe in myself. I love myself. I am enough. So the next person who is going to help me today has a very important role. And when she got asked the question, the advice to the younger self, she said, I would ask my younger self to try different roles throughout her life. This will give her a chance to take a look at herself from different perspectives. And in the end, she will find herself. So please welcome on this stage our timer, Maria Lizunova. Hi everyone, and yes, I'm answered as a psychologist, and sometimes people, when they come to me, they ask me how to become myself, how to find myself in this big world. And I don't tell them this idea, I tell them, okay, to find yourself, you should first of all lose yourself. And the thing is that to lose yourself is the way to lose everything what you got from your school, from your childhood, from your university, and so on. And how to do it the easiest way, because they ask sometimes the clients a very practical advice, I tell them find some other people and take their roles, take the way how they think about the life, take the way how they live this life. Just take this as a role, but the important thing is that not to find another role to play, but to find yourself in other person is to know for sure when you should stop. And me, as a time manager today, as a timer, I will show you the green light is moment when you should keep going on. Everything is fine still. I will show you the red light is when you should really start to go down in your story, even if you have a lot of things to tell us more. And the red light, it means that really, sorry, you should stop. And it means that you have like 1 2 last sentences to close your speech nicely. And the most important thing is that I kindly ask you to look at myself sometimes. Otherwise, I will be very kind as a psychologist, so I will not stop you, but we will speak here. Thank you. This is a beautiful advice to try to lose yourself, maybe even more difficult than to try to find yourself, right? Do you know another quote, not just this one, but the one that says, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The other best time is now. So the other advices I'm going to give not to just younger selves of our team and other speakers, but as to you guys, because maybe you will hear something that will help you do something that you feared to do before, all right? So the next team member of my team, lots of team today, is a person who asked her younger self and everyone here today to be more determined, to rely on your gut feelings, dedicate all of your time and energy to what you think is right for you at the given moment. So please welcome on this stage our counter, Ekaterina Shulakova.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and other guests. It's my pleasure to be a counter today. And as a counter, I'll make notes of every it's not the best role for me, of pauses, of and also use of repetitions, repetitive phrases, such as, you know, this means, that means. Well, and I'll provide the report at the end of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Serena. I don't think that there is such a thing as the best role or the worst role, because it is yourself, and we're trying to improve ourselves by coming here, right? Yeah. So the next person who is going to come here stepped in last minute, but he did manage to give an advice to his younger self and to everyone else here today. Be more in a moment. Don't wish to grow up too quickly. Such a beautiful phrase, even when you are 40 or 60, right? Please welcome on the stage our grammarian of the day, Nick Marchenko.
I haven't prepared for this speech, so I think I will not speak quite long. So, as a grammarian, my duty is to make you improve your language skills. And I will look very carefully at what you say and will write down all the mistakes. I will also take note of some beautiful phrases. And I have prepared the word of the day, which is integrity. It's the quality of being honest and trustworthy. And later on, I will give a final report. Thank you.
It doesn't matter if you're prepared or not, improvisation is the key. So you did great, thank you very much. And you definitely were in a moment. One of my favorite roles, not to have, but to look at, is the role of a person who listens closely to everything everybody is saying here. You will know why in a second. This person told me that the younger self and everyone here today needs to go with the flow and do what they think is right, depending on a situation. Please welcome on the stage our quiz master, Veronica.
Thanks so much. Yes, I'm suggesting everyone to be yourself during whole life, because it's the best way to achieve your goal. I think like that. So, hello everyone, I'm Veronica. Today I'm your quiz master. This role includes asking the question at the end of our meeting. So kindly remember, listen carefully, our members, because at the end of the meeting, I will ask you some questions. And if you give me a correct answer, I'll give you some sweet.
All right, before we move on to one of the most important parts of the meetings, let me ponder upon the topic. So remember in the very beginning, I told you that the biggest problem when we grow up is which one? To try to be yourself, because everybody is telling you to be someone or something, right? Go get married, become a physician, go do, I don't know, some sports, gymnastics, or soccer, even though you're a girl, something like that. And then you grow up and you see this beautiful phrase, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. You're like, yeah, that's the right phrase to look upon. And you make a decision to be yourself. And in that particular moment, something happens. You start seeing everywhere mottos like, hear your voice, find it, express yourself, be original, communicate what comes from the self. And here comes a problem. Suddenly, you want everyone to understand what your real self is. You want everybody to see that, hear it, feel it, and behave it. Basically be what you want everyone to be, because your opinion is important, yourself is important. But you know what the problem is? You do that because you want to be accepted. You want to be loved and understood. Instead, people get separated from you because they do not accept that. There is a decision that I will share with you a bit later after our beautiful speakers share their thoughts today. I would like to start with our first speaker, who answered a question on the advice to your younger self like that. Never settle for less if in fact you want more. Otherwise, a feeling of dissatisfaction will haunt you all your life. I would like to welcome on our virtual stage Yana Maskalkova with her project Negotiate the Best Outcome in the Path Dynamic Leadership, with her speech When Win-Win Doesn't Exist. The objective of this speech is to learn about different types of negotiation and the strategies that can be used when negotiating. When win-win doesn't exist. Yana, the stage is yours.
Dear friends, can you please show if you can hear me?
Yes.
Well,
We can.
Irina, thank you so much. Thank you. When win-win does not exist, someone has to lose. 11th of June, 2019. Imagine a very calm, warm summer evening, homemade barbecue, baked potatoes, white wine. Will you marry me? And the beauty of the ring I got struck right into my heart. Yes, of course, was my answer. That was amazing. The proposal was a bit of expected surprise, if I can say so. We discussed our wedding many times before during the year, but without a reference to any exact date. So I was expecting it and not expecting it at the same time. We discussed the date of our wedding celebration, the 1st of February 2020. And what's more important, the date of our wonderful 3 weeks long honeymoon, the 7th of February 2020. We were going to fly to Thailand, to Malaysia as well, to enjoy the Asian cuisine, to enjoy the Bangkok heat, to enjoy the pieces of interest, and what's more, several islands, blue ocean, warm yellow sand, and a full level of relaxation. I was so much looking forward to this vacation as I had never ever looking forward to any other my trips. The 7th of January, 2020. My mom calls me and says, "Your father is in the hospital. The ambulance took him away today in the morning and I'm already home and safe." I was shocked. What happened? How could this happen? The ambulance. People do not end up in the hospital without any diseases or accidents or something else. Yes, a couple of months ago, he had a swelling of leg, but how could a swelling of leg lead to the ambulance, to the reanimation department, to the fact that he was artificially put into unconscious state? 11th of January, 2020, 9 o'clock in the morning, my mom calls me and says, "Your father, my beloved husband, died today at 7:15. My world turned upside down. We are never prepared to death until it enters our life, fortunately or unfortunately. And always I was thinking about death as something which happens in other people's lives, not in mine. And this day I faced it. I was thinking and thinking, maybe I should have made him visit doctors and pay more attention to the swelling of leg. Maybe I could prevent the hospital or even death. But wait a minute, my wedding celebration, my honeymoon, less than a month till the date. What shall I do? And my mother begging me not to go to my honeymoon. She asks me to stay because she was so afraid to stay all alone in this dark apartment. When win-win does not exist, someone has to lose. I was thinking a lot about the situation and about the thing, what shall I do? On the one side, there was my honeymoon, my wonderful 3 weeks long trip, the trip I was dreaming of for the previous half a year. And the trip I would love to have only once in my life, only one honeymoon. And on the other side was my mother, who was asking me not to go, who was completely unprepared to the situation, both physically and emotionally. So a session of negotiation was waiting for me, and let's see what we have there. First 5 minutes of negotiation set the tone for the discussion, create a positive environment that is conducive to reaching an agreement. How can you even think of leaving me all alone at such a moment? How can you be so cruel? The beginning of the discussion was not right enough. Listen to the other parties involved and look for a mutually beneficial solution. What kind of solution are you talking about? Please stay with me. It is so difficult for me to live in this dark apartment on my own. Please understand me, my mom cried. Using I statements during a negotiation keeps the focus on you and how you feel. That's the key. The I statements were the only method to discuss the situation because both me and my mom were trying to comprehend each other's feelings. Mom, please, I have been dreaming of this honeymoon for the previous half a year. The trip promises to be so wonderful and please let me go. Please stay with me, honey. It is so difficult for me to be on my own right now. This is a very difficult moment. Please support me. Mom, please. I'm going to get married only once, and I'm going to have only one honeymoon in my life. Rescheduling will make it a completely different type of trip and mood. Reschedule your trip. You have to support me. Rescheduling will not make anything bad for you, and I need you now. Mom, I will call you every day. I will send you all the photos and videos. You won't even notice that I'm not in Moscow, not with you. And I'm sure my father would have wished me the best wedding and honeymoon ever in the world. I will not survive if I lose you too. When win-win does not exist, someone has to lose. My wedding day passed with tears in my eyes, and that were not only tears of happiness, they were tears of sorrow that my father was not around. My honeymoon passed with the constant impact of grief in the background of pieces of interest and attractions of Thailand and Malaysia. My days and months after pass with a shade of memory and sadness. That session of negotiation became the most challenging ever with my mother and me. And still, I'm not sure if I made a right decision, but nevertheless, at that session, I won and she lost. Sometimes both victory and defeat have a bitter taste. And no matter if you win or lose, you are not 100% happy. I was not 100% happy with my victory, and I don't know if that decision was right or wrong. But it's no use wondering what would happen if. You never know if you have been saved or lost a real life. Back to Toastmaster.
Sharing this heartbreaking story. It is really difficult to give any comment after that because it is very personal. The only thing that I would like to still say is that every decision we make is right at the given time and given points. And there is no way to change it because that was the right decision. So yeah. Getting back to our meeting, I would like to welcome on the stage our next speaker. The one who said to his younger self and to us today, do not be afraid to confront other people, situations, and do what you are really longing for. Nothing valuable comes easy in this life. I would like you all to welcome on this stage Daniil Puzhlakov with his speech for the project Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring in his class Level 2 Presentation Mastery. The objective of his speech is to introduce the value of mentorship and the Toastmasters view of mentors and proteges. Everyone, please welcome Daniil Puzhlakov with his speech. Mentee. The stage is yours.
Okay, guys. Hi, my name is Katerina, and today I will be glad to help with your mentor-mentee experience. So, who is who?
Hi, my name is Daniel. I'm a mentee, and Mike is my mentor.
My name is Miles.
Sorry. Miles.
Interesting start. Good that we finally are clear with that. So, who wants to start first?
Be honest, I don't think that we have to be here at all, because for this kind of 2-3 months we've been working together, we actually didn't have any conflicts at all.
Actually, 4 months.
Okay, 2-3, maybe 4 months.
Okay. Okay, how often do you talk to each other from 1 to 10, where 1 is very little and 10 like every day?
Hard to say, but yes, we talked a couple of times.
Actually, 1 in total.
Okay, let me be more specific in the last 2 weeks, please.
Then in that case, you need to change the scale, because if 1 is very little, then what we have to do?
Okay, I think I do start seeing a point here. Let's talk about the only time you really spoke. Do you remember it well? Tell me about it.
Yeah, actually, it wasn't much prepared for my previous speech. The Men in Black are striking back. So actually, I expected it to be a very humorous speech, because the title, first of all, was a combination of the 2 films, The Men in Black and Empire Strikes Back. And it also was a kind of play with the words black and black. You see the point? And the topic was about the aliens. I also provided some news like they exist, so I wanted to be very fascinating. And in the end, I made a reference to a very kind of famous scene in the film Men in Black with his sunglasses. So I sent it to Mike and expected some excitement.
Miles. My name is Miles.
Sorry. Miles, of course.
Okay, what did you get?
On contrary, I got the opposite actually. Miles told me that everything is boring. I need to kind of change everything. He repeated several times, get to the point, focus on the point. And he proposed to reverse the speech, to start with the sunglasses, like kind of, do something like I'm an actor, to frighten the audience, say, we are attacked by the aliens. And then come down and say, okay, just the news, don't worry. But what struck me most actually, he asked me, what the hell was with the sunglasses? Yeah. Are you sure about that?
I've not seen Men in Black, so how was I supposed to know?
Yeah, but this is a blockbuster. Everybody's seen that.
Not me. I like serious movies and documentaries.
Okay, guys, I see that we have a conflict of generations here, right? But Daniel, was Miles correct about the rest?
He actually has, because indeed, actually, my personal lady told me the same, that my message was kind of, let's say, weak, and because of that, my final statement was not strong enough.
Okay, so do you accept that if the mentor's suggestion was actually useful?
Yeah, indeed, indeed.
Good, good. Miles, and what about you? Was it useful for you as well?
Yes, Daniel's often talking about different movies I've not seen. And once I decided to check with my wife, Gina, to see if she knew about them. And I asked her about a movie, a scene with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie sitting on a couch talking to a psychologist, much like we're doing right now. And she instantly said, sure, that's the movie Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Have you seen it? I asked her. And she snapped back, no, you never take me to movies. So I guess I learned something about myself that I have to work on.
Okay, so you both learned from that experience. That is good. And how did you meet each other, by the way?
Well, it happened 2-3 months ago on the internet.
4 months ago.
2, 3, or maybe 4 months ago on the internet. I was proposed to get a mentor. I said, why not give it a try?
Same here. I thought, why not give it a try?
Okay, why did you decide to give it a try? Did you have that experience in the past, maybe?
Yeah, actually, I had a mentor at my first job. It was a kind of internship, but unfortunately, the guy was the auditor. So he had to travel to the different plants throughout the country, Vladivostok, Kaliningrad. So I never talked to him. I never asked him any question, never got any feedback. So it was like nothing. It was a very disappointing experience.
Okay, looks like child trauma, right? Typical story. Okay, Miles, what about you? I think we lack a positive experience here. What do you think?
Yes, I have a positive example. The Odyssey program with Toastmasters, where you're paired with a mentor or a mentee from around the globe. Well, I've been paired with a wonderful mentor from the Netherlands, and he's helped me find focus for my pathway. What is the point? Where do I want to get to? As Gina often tells me, I'm easily distracted. So get to the point, and I saw that issue with Daniel's speech as well, and I wanted to draw his attention to it.
Okay, Miles, thank you. Very good example. You learned something and you pass it to Daniel. Learning cycle. Agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Great, good that we agreed on that as well. Good point to finish. Maybe somebody would like to sum up this since we discussed.
Yeah, let me do that again. Despite the fact actually that they have a lot of programs, the Toastmasters, like the mentoring program you mentioned, also the Odyssey program, the Miles participated, and also something with the coffee, something with the brain mind storming or something. And it's hard to get what's the difference. It's still worth trying and finding what suits you best, because in Russia it's not a popular concept, but in the world it actually
Danielle, get to the point. Get to the point.
Okay, to the point. So for the new members, if you don't have a mentor, get a mentor. And for the experienced one, get a mentee because it's, you know, kind of two-way street. Can be very useful for you both, or at least you'll have some fun. Right, Mike?
It's Miles. I'm out of here.
Thank you guys for these. Do that. It is definitely a fun one, right? However, if we're speaking about finding yourself, internet is definitely not the place where to do that. However, there are some other places, and maybe our next speaker is going to tell us that, because she will give her piece of advice in her speech. So I would like to welcome on stage our next speaker with a speech for the project, Evaluation and Feedback in the Path Team Collaboration. The objective of this speech is to address the skills needed to give and receive feedback. The person will learn about giving, receiving, and applying feedback. Please welcome on the stage our next speaker, Irina Gurtavaya, with her speech. Irina, the stage is yours.
Please imagine hardworking, total, and in contrast, lazy hair. A total moves slowly but surely. A hair did nothing. He hopes to overtake the total in a couple of jumps. Dear fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, today I would like to tell you, to share with you my observation on myself, how almost intuitively I managed to implement Japanese Kaizen system into my Toastmaster life. To be more precise, into my ultimate goal, my point B on my way from A to B, to improve my English speaking up to C1, using speech preparation, public speaking as a tool. For those who are not familiar with Kaizen, this is Japanese philosophy, which in a couple of decades arose Japanese post-war economics from ruins. Eastern approach is to focus on people and process rather than result and product. It is very important to obtain high quality product at a low price with a low efforts. Customer feedback is a crucial thing, crucial component of Kaizen. The word Kaizen itself consists from two hierarchies, improve and change. It can be translated like continuous improvement, continuous changes for the better. Three magic words: continue, change, improve. Repeat: continue, change, improve. Kaizen technique has three basic principles. Start small, start as a team, start with a leader. Let's elaborate separately with examples. Number one, start small. Fully means idea of small steps. I had a lot of things, I had a lot of stuff matter to me. My office work, family, husband, kids, school, friendship, traveling, yoga, sport, a lot. I have developing each of them step by step with small achievements. Slow but continue process, like a turtle, remember in the beginning? For example, I cannot take in speeches deliver speeches at Toastbusters meeting every meeting. It is difficult to me, sometimes impossible due to my business trip schedule. But I promised to myself to do small steps every meeting. Taking minor roles, if no minor roles, participating in table topic session, every meeting, step by step, continue, change, improve. Principle number 2, start as a team. The team, personally for me, means a lot. Yes. I was surprised how I found myself in this English-speaking club, Toastbusters, in the position of Vice President of Public Relations. I just decided and realized that I want to develop my English-speaking skills here at Toastbusters with people who challenge me. This is Katya, this is Anya, another Anya. These people challenge me, inspire me, change my life for the better. It was easier to start with this team for me. By the way, family is also kind of team. Please not. And the third principle of Kaizen is start with the leader. At the very beginning of my Toastmaster journey, I wanted my mentor to be a very experienced, the best Toastmaster of the best, Valeria Холодкова. I was embarrassed to say about it very, very long period of time. Once, it was 3 years ago, before the contest, I tried to ask her for advice and received some recommendation how to improve my speech before contest. But unfortunately, I was not mature enough to using it for good. Then I decided, okay, I will back to this issue a little bit later. I had to work on myself. We have to be on the same wave. Over the years, I turned to Valeria's help a couple of times and always receive clear instruction for action. Now and my understanding of mentoring process grew steadily. Now I enjoy with my small steps with Valeria and our relationship. But I try to prevent my turtle to not grow hairs, legs, just to ruin this relationship by one careless jump. Continue, change, improve. Kaizen system itself, the theory of small steps, continuous changes for the better. I used to be here. I got excited with the idea, started new things, then lost the interest and gave up. Now I'm comfortable being a turtle, being in balance, moving slowly, and do not lose anything I love, anything I have. This is how I got my Zen. How do you think who you are, turtle or hare?
I love this idea of continue, change, improve. Especially if we look at the topic of our meeting today, be or not to be yourself. Because sometimes it seems that when we are trying to be ourselves, we're not supposed to change, right? It's actually wrong. Because being yourself is looking at what we need to improve in ourselves and be turtles, slowly move and do that. So remember, in the very beginning, we were discussing two ends of one stick. One is when you try to be someone else because people around you ask you to do that. They want you to be better, faster, stronger, be heirs, who knows? The other end of the stick is when you see a phrase and you push this concept of being yourself and you push it on everyone else. The thing is that there is a way out of this dilemma to be yourself, and we heard what we need to do is to lose yourself a little bit and just be. Just be means to go through this life without trying to change people around you, to accept yourself and at the same time accept people around you. Accept them for who they are, not try to change them, not try to push them. Let them be turtles on their way to the improvement. Speaking of this beautiful quote, if you start digging, it was not Oscar Wilde who created this quote. Actually, it was created by a person called Thomas Merton, who was a Trappist monk and a Catholic priest. He actually wrote an essay back in 1967. And it's not even a quote from that essay. It is actually a paraphrase of what he was trying to say. And this is what he wrote. I would like you to listen very carefully. In an age where there is much talk about being yourself, I reserve to myself the right to forget about being myself, since in any case, there is very little chance of my being anyone else. Rather, it seems to me that when one is too intent on being himself, he runs the risk of impersonating a shadow. So just be and enjoy the break that we're going to have right now. And that is going to last for,
I guess it's now 27.
okay, for about 8 to 10 minutes. So see you in about audience, please come back. Oh, this is my favorite part. I was just saying that before I joined Toastmasters, I was coming to the meetings for at least half a year, maybe more, just to attend the table topics part of the meeting, because for me, this is the best part of it. I mean, everything else is good, useful, fun sometimes, but table topics is the thing. So I would like to give the stage to an amazing person who is going to share a piece of advice to a younger self and to us.
Younger Alexander, fellow Toastmasters and guests, you should more practice this exercise from Sasha Fidorenko when preparing your speech, to see the whole audience and to see the timer and to make you a stronger public speaker.
Okay.
I will show you more on Saturday. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, to be or not to be, it's real difficult questions, but today you will kill your integrity by that coin. Oh. Who will decide to you to be or not to be? I prepared several questions for you. Once you draw out the question, you read it, and there will be some controversial
Controversial.
controversial statements I prepare. And after that, you will flip the coin like this. And if side yes, come out. You should agree for 2 minutes. If side no, come out. You comes out. You should deny for 2 minutes. And let me remind the rules. You have from 1 to 2 minutes for your table topic speech, and you have to think. You may think for 30 seconds after drawing up your question. So let's try with some experienced Toastmaster. Who knows who is experienced Toastmaster? Maybe Valeria.
Yes. Okay. Second. Oh, yeah. Yes.
You should read.
Okay. Out loud,
Louder.
loud. Performing on stage is always easier when you're hungry than when you're well fed.
Stop. Throw.
Me fed, boy.
Three.
Let me try.
And oh,
You wait. Catch.
no,
your
okay,
hand,
okay,
okay.
No,
So I disagree.
disagree.
I disagree. with
That's
your
a
statement.
second.
Okay, let's begin. Performing on stage is, what was the question again? Performing on stage is always easier when you're hungry than when you're well fed. Personally, I very much enjoy to eat. In fact, it helps me calm my nerves. I am one of those people that usually buys chocolate, cakes. If you see me, every time I come to this meeting, I always have a cookie or a cake or a donut with me. There is a reason for that. It calms my nerves, especially sugary treats. So I personally would disagree with this statement because my brain functions better when I'm hyped up on sugar instead of being hungry. And I would suggest that for anyone here to try that method, maybe next time, bring a cookie or a donut with you and see how it works out. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Who will be next? Maybe somebody from the audience, Zoom. Bonjour, Irina. Irina, salut.
Salut Sacha, ça va?
Est-ce que will you join us and participate?
Okay, let's try.
Okay, I will. Which one, from the left or from the right? You would
Just
like-
up to you. Make a choice.
Okay, on the center. Okay, let me read for you. In any case, just participating is better than winning. In any
Okay.
case, just participating is better than winning. Understood? And now stop. I'm throw
Yeah, I'm
because
waiting.
your club and I can do it for you. Oh. Yes, you should agree.
Okay, it's a kind of magic. You just made it. Okay. It's better to participate than to read about something. Well, I believe that's a perfect example of being here today because I believe that it was 15 minutes ago when Alexander invited me today to the session. He just sent me the link and said, hi Irina, I'm leading the session of improv, just come and just participate. And I said, why not? I'm here, I'm drinking tea with my kids. So I decided to join the meeting and to participate and not to probably watch afterwards the meeting on YouTube or to, to read in chat or to look through the photos of smiling people, etc. And I believe that it's a good example of to do something, to act, and to be, to improvise somehow and to integrate and to show integrity to all the people and to show the audience integrity. Okay, I saw the green light. People, be brave and improvise and participate, not read about it. Back to the studio.
Well, let's move to the next improvisation. Who wants from the newcomers?
Lina.
Lina? Lina?
Shall I read? Yeah.
Yes.
A prepared performance always wins over improvisation. Shall I do it myself? I don't know how to do this before. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like this. Yeah.
No.
Okay. No. Okay. So just a second. I need to. So I disagree. Yes, with this statement.
Yes.
All right. So I guess I'm ready. Yeah, I have like a minute.
You should you can read once again.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, like the statement says like a prepared performance always wins over improvisation. So I totally disagree with this statement because no, actually I have to disagree with this statement. Yeah, like what happens? We are taught to prepare, but we're taught to prepare for anything, for our job, for performance, for I don't know, just for even like in the morning we get ready all the time, prepare, and our life turns into kind of cycle of preparation, and nothing is left for improvisation, nothing is left for freedom. Because for me, improvisation is first of all like freedom, like this art of freedom, like when not everything goes like clockwork, when you can improvise, when like today I have just improvised, yes, when you can do something spontaneously. And if we talk about like stage performance or public speaking performance, yeah, it's so good to prepare in advance. But I guess what you need to leave some percentage, maybe let's say 40% for improvisation. Otherwise, it will look like a doll, like a mommy, I guess, like Egyptian mommy, because like you prepared and it sounds like which you have repeated the same words like before for like all the night in order to look like decent, in order to look prepared again. Yeah, but if you leave this 40% for improvisation, I think you will look alive. You will look natural and you will be yourself. Thank you. Oh, so we shake hands. It's kind of a reminder, yeah? Thank you.
So who is next? Valeria Klarkova? Yeah. Where is Valeria? Oh, Valeria, hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Daily show with Alex.
Wonderful.
Okay, Valeria, what's from the left, from the right?
In the middle,
Huh?
somewhere in the middle, any.
Middle is 4. In the middle, there is no middle.
There's no middle.
Choose yourself. It's not a big deal.
Almost middle. Secrets always come out sooner or later.
Secrets always come out sooner or later.
Later. And let's draw. I will draw,
Okay.
yeah?
Mhm.
Oh. Yes.
Okay, can you please repeat the phrase once again?
Secrets always come out sooner or later. Valeria Khalakov. You agree?
Secrets do come out, sometimes sooner than later. Fellow Toastmasters, dear Mr. Table Topic Master, most honored guests, how many secrets do you have? This is a question, and this is a hard one. When I started thinking how many secrets I have, my first thought was, look, I don't have any secrets. There's nothing to come out about me that could probably danger my position or spoil or ruin something. But when you think deeper, when we think and elaborate on our everyday life, like the smallest actions that we do on the stage, even when we improvise, we actually tend to play a role. And playing a role sometimes is also keeping a secret, keeping your secret self inside of you. And this is the best kept secret of you that you probably do not want or do not dare to come out at a certain point. So my best kept secret that may come out or may not come out sooner or later, or at the moment I want it to be, is my real self, which we usually hides that deep that it's really, really, really tough to drag it out of you and see your real, wonderful face of a real person. So my message to you, fellow Toastmasters, Toastbusters Moscow Club is a perfect place where your secrets and your inner self can come out sooner than later in a wonderful, friendly environment where nothing can possibly endanger your soft inner secret self. So please use your chance and every little opportunity that come up here to show us your small secrets so that we can praise you together and can live happily ever after, showing our real faces to each other. Thank you, Mr. Table Master.
Well, I will also share a small secret. If you speak French, you can also join French club, and your small secrets will come out in French club as well.
Oh, merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Using the stage. Okay, Samira, it's your time to go.
Self inspires others to do the same.
Stop.
I can't do this.
You should agree or disagree. No.
No.
Once again, you can risk.
Being yourself inspires others to do the same.
No.
Your face. Okay, I'm ready for failure. I think sometimes we can repeat after other people and pretend to be someone else. For example, if currently I'm shy and reserved, I can become very confident and pretend that I know everything. So maybe you will, if you observe these changes, you will be inspired and try to follow my example. So something like that.
Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, let me remind you to use word of the day, integrity, during your table topics. Who wants, maybe Irina Terentьева? Irina?
Are you there? Are you there?
Are you there? Maybe Irina is busy with evaluation. Okay. Okay, maybe our beautiful timer. We'll try.
Okay. Someone else needs to time the thing.
be our timer for one improvisation.
Pursuit of mastery may prioritize individual achievement over collaboration and collective goals.
Once again, I'm love.
Yeah, I'm super sorry.
Dedicated to the.
What does it mean pursuit? I will be honest.
Always.
Ah,
Jason.
oh no, chasing,
Jason,
right,
yeah.
chasing, just a second. The chasing of mastery may prioritize individual achievement over collaboration and collective growth. Yes, I got, no, it's too hard. Too very hard things at the moment.
No. Once again.
So I should
Disagree.
disagree, yes. So it means that the chase of mastery should not prioritize individual achievement over collaboration and collective growth. Yeah, so it means that collective collaboration and collective growth is more important than individual achievement. That's what now I got it. Okay, actually, I'm yeah. So I'm ready to start. It's okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah, fine. Yes, and yeah, it's. I mean, okay. My first education is a theoretical physicist, actually. Before being a psychologist, and when you're a theoretical physicist, it's actually you're super individual. I mean, you are not experimentalist. You dislike all collaboration and so on. But then a year ago, I came to Alpha Bank as IT manager. Okay, not manager. I was quality assurance, and that's a super collective actually job. And it's I mean like 2 years ago it would be difficult for me to disagree with this sentence, but now I really agree that collaboration and collective growth is way more important. It's way more actually sometimes easier if you can speak to other people, if you're not too individualist, if you can hear other people. It's more, yeah, it's more cooler, it's easier, it's more interesting to work with other people. And then you can honestly get more cooler results at the end, because I know that what we got in a couple of months in Alpha Bank, it would be impossible to do alone, and we could do only when we were working like 10 people in collaboration. Yes, so.
Last but not least, in English, right? Please read for everyone.
It's my topic. Living where the belief in magic is much more interesting. Yes. Yes. I could speak about this topic for hours, if not years. Living with the belief in magic is much more interesting. Not only interesting, it is much more useful, much more perspective in terms of achieving different results. You are a theoretical physicist in your first education. I am a chemist. I graduated from the Moscow State University. No magic in the chemistry department of the Moscow State University. Of course, just experiments and in what you are doing in real life. But your life is good. And while you live it, you start to notice different signs. And when you put them all together and you get even more signs, you understand that the universe is much more complex and much more thoughtful rather than we can understand in scientific terms. So magic is is not a part of our life. It is our life in itself. And living with a belief in magic is much more interesting.
Toastmasters and guests, that's all for today. I remind you the participants, list of participants: Valeria, Irina, Lina, Valeria Kholodkova, Samira, Maria, Ekaterina. And you can also read the topics about what they were talking about. And the last was about the magic. And I would like you to vote for the best table topic. And at the end of the meeting, our beautiful president Ekaterina will announce the winners. And I will invite to the stage our beautiful host. Yes, that my table topic. Toastmaster of the day, Alexandra.
Thank you. I agree that what I like about the table topic session is that it is impossible not to be yourself here, because your mind is busy with trying to figure out what to say. This is why it is a very important skill, and I really hope that you will come next time to participate if you didn't have a chance. And with all of this, I would like to give the stage for good to our general evaluator and just remind you to please be yourself, no matter what, because this is what we love all of you for being yourself. And I would like our general evaluator to also share a piece of advice to a younger self and to everyone else on what you would give. So please welcome on stage Martina Abracheva.
Should I answer your question?
Oh, yes, please.
Can you repeat it?
Please give, and so the topic of our meeting is to be or not to be yourself. Give an advice to a younger self and to everyone present.
Do I have 30 seconds? Well, what I can say is just at this moment. So just try to take the best decision the moment that you, well, that's the advice for me, because usually you try to think too much of the future, try to think too much of the past. So, but the only thing that we have is this exact moment, nothing else. So try to do your best in this moment, and because the only thing you can change is this moment in time and nothing else. So hopefully not too philosophical, but it's what I think. With this being said, I will move on to, so now we are in the second part of our meeting, feedback. We heard some wonderful speeches. We had our experts giving their view on the roles. So it's now time to give feedback to what we heard and what we saw, and why we give feedback. So as Irina said in her speech, sorry for waking you up. As Irina said in her speech, feedback help us to adjust and develop ourselves. I personally actually am going through a set of interviews for my career. Actually, when I get rejected, I usually ask for a feedback, because those feedback actually help me for the next interview. So this is my personal experience. In case you find a job, it's a good thing. You're looking for a job. All right. I will. So basically now we're gonna call on the stage the evaluators of the speeches, and then I will gonna give the feedback on the overall meeting and each evaluator. So without further ado, I will call on the stage Irina Terentьeva. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Who is gonna evaluate the speech of Yana Maskalkova. Irina, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Before I start, I would like to say and to deliver my sincere apologies to the table topic master, Alexandra. I'm sorry that I didn't manage to answer your question because I had some technical problems, but I promise that I will make it to your French club and I will deliver the improvisation there. Now back to my evaluation. When win-win doesn't exist, someone will eventually lose. But what if we do not know for sure what it means to lose and what it means to win in a given situation? Dear fellow Toastmasters, guests, dear Yana, thank you so much for your today's talk. It was emotional, thought-provoking, and powerful. Let me briefly outline what, in my opinion, made your speech like that. First of all, emotional. From the very beginning, you grabbed our attention by inviting us to the situation. Imagine. And you made sure that we stayed with you till the very end of your story, with the help of effective storytelling and descriptive language. Because you didn't just list all the events and all the actions that happened to you. You made sure that we lived it together with you. You made it as emotional, as vivid, as alive as possible. Secondly, your speech was truly thought-provoking. And here, the very approach that you chosen to the topic itself was the key. Indeed, how exactly can we negotiate those things that are truly unnegotiable? Yes, there are some particular rules and instructions that we can find in some manuals, but what if we are talking about life and death? Can it be negotiable? So thank you for bringing it up, and I'm sure that your message will stay with everyone for a long time. And I'm sure that you made listeners, well, I can definitely say for myself, you helped us to recall some particular situations from our lives when it was also not very simple to make a decision and to negotiate something. And lastly, your speech was truly powerful. The ability of a speaker to tackle such tough topics so openly and sincerely is a true mastery. So thank you for that. The dignity, the sincerity, and the emotions with which you delivered your stage were incredible. Because it's one thing to evoke the emotions in the listeners, but it's a completely different thing to control your own while you are talking. And you definitely managed to do that. Now moving on to recommendations. Here I need to be really honest. Today I was as close as never to saying that I do not have any recommendations. You can just fire me forever from Toastmasters, but I'm not going to say anything. But eventually I found one, but just in order to be as helpful to you as possible. Maybe next time, if you decide to speak about such things one more time, maybe it would also be great to talk more about your personal takeaway out of the story. Yes, in the end, you mentioned that you're still not sure whether it was a win-win for you, whether it was a situation where you lost, but how exactly does it influence your decisions right now? How exactly has it changed your attitude towards particular things? Maybe you faced some other situations not long time ago where you changed your perspective and you behaved absolutely differently. Maybe it changed your relationship with your mom in particular and with your family in general. I think that in such cases, it is especially important to highlight your takeaway and your lesson from the whole situation and how it influences your life right now. Other than that, as I've said, your speech was truly emotional, thought-provoking, and powerful. Thank you for that, and good luck with all of your next projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Irina. Thank you for your feedback. Well, Irina's feedback actually was, to me, exemplary of how should be a feedback, because she was precise. So she exactly said what she liked, what she was good. She used wonderful vocabulary. She was very precise in the sense she used emotional, dignity, sincerity. Even though it was very difficult to find the areas for improvement, she did find it, and she elaborated very well in very precise. Remember, usually feedback given such as, oh, you were good, general feedback, or such as you did very well, don't help, because they tell everything and nothing. So when you give feedback, try to be honest. We are in a constructive environment, so we are here to grow, and it's better to be honest and straight to the point than provide the general feedback just to be polite and politically correct. Thank you once more, Irina. So I will call the next evaluator, who is Valeria Pogorielova.
I'm here.
You are everywhere. Who is gonna evaluate speech of Danil Pizalakov, and Pushkin, apologies for the accent tonight.
Thank you.
Stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Daniil has given me a very difficult job today, I personally think, because it was a very unorthodox approach to a speech. By unorthodox, I mean very unusual in structure and in presentation. But I will try my best to give you constructive feedback. First of all, I really enjoy a different approach to the setup, because it is very common for people to come and just stand here and talk, and it takes a lot of nerve, a lot of courage to come up here and speak just like this, but it takes even more to try something new, to try a different structure. And straight away it caught everyone's attention. Why are there chairs? Why are there 3 people? We were focused, we were switched on, we were interested to see what was going to happen. Humor, injecting humor into the speech also keeps people's attention. So that's also always a bonus. Thank you very much for that. And Daniil went the extra mile, Daniil went an extra mile by writing the parts for Yekaterina and for Miles as well. So that's an additional bit of effort, which I very much appreciate, and I'm sure the audience do as well. And in terms of things that you can work on, again, I also had to work hard to try and pick out something to include. But what I noticed was that when you broke out of character from time to time, from my understanding, it was more meant to be a theatrical presentation, I would say, where you are in a therapy session with your mentor, Miles, and Yekaterina is the therapist. And from time to time, I noticed you broke out of character a few times when maybe Miles was speaking, you would look at him and you would smile, when the audience would laugh. So I would say, try to stay in character more. When you do address the audience, at the end, you gave us the conclusion, which was your point to improve on your takeaway. You can stand up and come talk to us, because that part was addressed directly of, guys, join Toastmasters, get yourself a mentor. Hopefully you won't end up in a therapy session. So maybe you could change from being here to now addressing us directly. And I would say your speech had structural integrity. Maybe a bit late for the word of the day, but here we go. So you had very clear why we started in a therapy session, what happened, and how it ended. But I did not understand what the value of mentorship was, and I believe that was one of the goals. So maybe you can explain that to me later in case I personally missed it and everyone else got it. But apart from that, I see the red card, so I'm going to stop talking. Thank you so much. It was amazing to watch. I really enjoyed it.
Valeria. So Valeria feedback was precise. She explained exactly what she observed. One thing, if I may say, just for everyone actually, usually when we give a feedback, we give positive area for improvement, development, and we summarize. So just you run out of time. So just give like 2-3 points to summarize your feedback. All right, so I will call now. Let's see. Yeah, the other speech is cancelled. Okay.
No.
Sorry.
It's my turn.
Anna, right? Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. So Anna Rubinina is gonna evaluate the speech of Irina.
Dear Toastbusters, dear guests, let me be the hare today and jump right into the evaluation of Irina's speech. I really liked that you chose this topic. It was not about Kaizen, the motivational system. No, it's not a motivation, it's a system of working, yes? The speech was about you, about this topic, yes? Yourself. And you shared your personal experience. And I think these are the best topics for speeches, because by looking at a person, we learn and learn the best from them. So sharing your personal experience was really great. You also introduced us to this Kaizen system, and you made me interested in that. So I will check it out, because your experience showed that it's worth having a try. The next thing that I liked was the metaphor you used and about the hare and the turtle, and you used it not just at the beginning, but also throughout all your story. You tried to support your story with this metaphor several times. Now, you said that one of the principles of Kaizen is change and improvement. That's why I'm going to give you some points for improvement. And the first thing, I think, is structure. You gave us, so you tried to explain what Kaizen is and used too many points, I think. So you said that it's how it's compared to the European system, then something about personal feedback, then about the team and leader and small steps, then about the continued improvement and change. So there were too much stuff, and I think you might reduce on that. Just choose these 3 principles, yes? Make this less information about Kaizen, and illustrate it with examples that you gave us about Toastmasters and your personal life. Yes, one of the good points was also that you told us that how Toastmasters work and how it helps you. And one more thing, you asked me before the evaluation to pay attention to your gestures. I think you had concern that your gestures are too large, too open, too exaggerated. And this time you tried to control yourself and hold your hands like this. I think you should be yourself. And yes, be yourself, use your gestures as you want, and try this, try that. And as you make more speeches, you will improve and find the perfect way to keep your to also work with the facial mimics, yes. And you will find this balance. So just keep on going as a turtle. So thank you, really, thank you for your uplifting speech with personal example how to reach your goal. Yes, and the goal was to reach the C1 level in English. You are very close to it. And work on the structure and use your gestures as you wish.
Thank you, Anna. Perfect, your feedback, I mean, you had positive, but and you know, you had your suggestion, like you touch on the positive things, on the things that could go better, and you had summary. Just next time, try to be more at the point. You know, try to be more precise. Like, you know, give more detailed instruction, and you will be on time as well. All right, so now we can move to our experts, right? Section, right? So I will call on the stage our timer, who is gonna tell us how we did in terms of timing, because timing is money.
Yes. So thank you, Martino. And okay, I understood that you like numbers necessary for physics. Physicists, I can really give you numbers, but as far as I know, you will make a photo of this and we'll take a look. And I think in general, my advice would be the less is more sometimes, and it's better not to give too much rather than to give much. And I think actually in the end we're more or less in the time at the end of the segment, and we will still have a lot of time. Sorry. And I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Maria. She used a metaphor, wonderful metaphor, to explain a role, which is like the best way to explain something. So good job on that. And you seem like already a super experienced Toastmasters. If I may say, like if there was someone who went over time too much, just highlight it, and we're gonna make some fun. All right, so it's time for the A counter.
So, dear Toastmasters and guests, today I had the pleasure of serving as a counter, and my role was to listen carefully to each speaker and take some notes of your filler words, such as and I hope that this helps us all become more aware of our speech patterns and to improve it, work towards more confident communication. So I'll just name the filler word and how many times each of you use it. Is that correct format?
Great.
Okay. So the first person was Alexandra Fedorenko, and I only noticed one yeah, one then Anastasia, I'm sorry, Anastasia, one but and one repetition. Maria, two for one so, one like, one but, two, and two repetitions. Veronica, just one repetition. Yana.
That's not like.
Yeah. Yes. One so and one but. Daniel, one two are, one so and one like. Irina Gurtovaya. Irina Gurtovaya.
Yeah.
Yes. Two are and one but. Alexander, I didn't notice anything. Lina, the speech was good, though there are some fillers. Yeah, two are, one six like.
Oh my gosh.
Two repetitions and three, you know. When Samira, three one so, one like. Ekaterina, one Martina, yeah, sorry, two and two and that's it.
So far.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Who is the winner? Who is the loser?
Yeah.
Just to spice it up, right? So next time people they're more motivated because they're gonna be brought on the stage and put the figure on. All right, so it's time to call on the stage our grammarian Nikolai and tell us how we did in grammar and word of the day.
Yes. So, dear fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, I think everybody had a great pleasure while listening to these great speeches. However, I have some remarks. Let's start with Anastasia Gushevara. You said to remember about. However, I think it's more correct to say to remember something without about. Then Yana Moskalkova, who was online, she said reanimation department. I think it's more oftenly is used intensive care unit, but correct me if I'm wrong. Then Maria Lizunov, right? You said more cooler. I think it's either cooler or more cool. Daniel, you said in the internet. I think on the internet is more appropriate. Irina Krutova, economics. And then consist from. I think consist of. Yes. No, basically that's all. I also want to stress out some great speeches. Me personally, that's just my private view. I really enjoyed the speech of Alexandra Fedorenko. Yes, Toastmasters. Then both Valerius Pogorelova and Khatko, great speeches. Irina Terentьева, also a great speaker. And Lina also great English skills as well.
Thank you.
As for integrity, I think we have two winners, and they are Alexandra and Valeria Pogorelova. You both use it once. And you're
Beginning, I use. Integrity will kill.
To remind us.
Yes. Will be killed by the coin. And I remember to audience.
Yes. But still, we don't have a
Okay.
prize.
We should.
Okay.
We should.
Okay. Then.
Thank you, Nikolai. Yeah, great report on the. You were precise on saying on mistakes, and one remark only is that instead of saying maybe I like the speeches of they were great speeches, you can actually pick up like the good lexic, the nice sentences, and repeat them, right? So to repeat them to the public, so that they can actually digest it and even learn it more for the future. All right, so I will now it's time for some fun.
Sweet.
As if it wasn't fun. So we call on the stage our quiz master Veronica Pedro.
Are you hungry?
Yes.
Yes.
Always.
So I'm going to ask you some question about our meetings, about information which was given from our members. Something like this. Okay, first question. Which of the newcomers is an English teacher?
Lina.
Yeah! You
Who's
first.
first?
Yes.
Yeah, who's first?
Sasha.
Like that.
How long Kiana's honeymoon last?
3
3 weeks.
months. 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Stop.
Yeah, second place.
Yeah.
Your face.
You couldn't kill
No, I used to play baseball. No worries.
Listen carefully. What movie Miles hasn't ever watched?
Men in
Black.
Black.
Ah, Men in Black.
Yes, I think
Who?
we
No, I said Black Man. Men in Black. Men in Black. Yeah, I confused.
Another.
Who was a mentor of Irina Gurkova? What was Irina repeating? What slogan was Irina repeating for a number of times? Is that change? Yes.
Continue.
Continue, change, improve.
Got it.
So, audience, super, yes, good listeners. Valeria Hladkova loves sugar or salt?
Sugar.
Sugar.
Горелого.
Oh, sorry.
Горелого
Disqualified.
Сладкого соль. Горелого sugar.
All right, since you like it, this
Yes.
is for you. It's a gift for you.
Wow. I'll always have sugar.
Who said you should improvise instead prepare things?
Lina.
Yes. It was Lina. And the last question, how many questions Alexander has prepared for us?
8.
9. Yes, 7, but why you?
Because I like
7, yeah.
Yes, but you didn't, you shouldn't answer for your question.
Nobody told me.
No.
You should tell. Alexandra don't play. Doesn't play.
Okay, I have one question, but I'm not sure that I have the right answer. We will проверим. We will check. Yes.
Check it out.
What specialty did Ekaterina get at university?
Theoretical
Yes.
physicist.
Chemistry.
No,
Chemistry.
chemistry.
Yes. Okay, guys, thanks so much.
Well, thank you.
Good.
It's my paycheck.
Okay.
All right then. So I will provide my feedback for the overall meeting. We started on time, so that was perfect. We started on time because I came late 2 minutes, so I suppose we started on time. As usually, Katya was very welcoming with the newcomers. She introduced everyone on stage. She introduced about the meaning of the mission of Toastbusters, right? So yeah, that's very important. About Sasha, wonderful. You prepare. You could see, everyone could see that you prepare for the Toastmaster. You do, right? because you're so talented that you might prepare just in a you might not even prepare. So I enjoy very much your quotes, such like for instance, the time about planting the tree. If you think that planting the tree 20 years ago was
good time. The good time is now, actually. And was very touchy the thought of the day, Anastasia. And that actually set the mood for the meeting. You involved the people. I don't remember now exactly what you said, but it actually was very. It involved everyone, and I think everyone liked it, and yeah, I think it was a good idea. I said, Maria, about the interpretation of the role, this about the metaphor, when doing the for the timer. So Ekaterina was great. Just no worries. Next time, just prepare yourself a little bit more. Like everything is about preparation. You just prepare 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes more about what you're gonna say. You can repeat it. You can repeat it in front of the mirror, or just record yourself.
My thoughts and then my mind went blank.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, exactly.
Also sugar.
The table topic was fun. Was well prepared. You have very good questions, and the thing about the coin was also well thought. If I may say, one thing is that maybe just introduce it a little bit more about what is the purpose of having an improvised speech, because basically we have improvised speech all the time. So just give some context. In improvised speech is an actual speech, so we should have an opening, body, and a summary, right? So a closure. So just to give context, especially for the newcomers. And about the meeting, so actually I thought about, do you know Valentino Rossi?
Yes. That's
Yeah,
Not personally, but
yeah. So basically, it's like one of the best motors, like biker ever, all the time. But he's actually a great communicator. Like everyone loves him, from children to adults. And people ask me, what is your trick to why everyone likes you? He said, well, actually, it's just because I'm myself. If I try to be someone else, I don't think there's someone who will like me. So this would be the answer for me tonight. So be yourself, and yeah, that's the best answer. The best answer. All right, thank you, everyone. I will leave the stage to.
You today. So we have a tradition here. After a meeting, we usually pass this wonderful best speaker winner of table topics. And today, as usual, guys, so we have only one winner, and this is Valeria Kholodkova. She's not here. I discussed with her, am I pass to another person next to her? And she told me she's not here again. Wonderful. And there are two winners after Valeria. Valeria and Ekaterina. Please come on the stage.
Thank you very much. Are we taking a photo? Yes, we are. Dual victory. Насилием не видно.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
Thank you very much.
So thank you for coming. If you have questions, please ask me or some other officer here. Also, we have a tradition. We're out of time right now, but I will be short. We have a tradition, take a photo, but after photo, we will usually have we usually have to go to some restaurant or bar or cafe or something, just to have after party and share our feelings. If you feel not good right now, want to sleep, so it's the best way to cheer up and wake up. And so after this meeting, I invite you to go all to some cafe. And basically, no, our next meeting will be in 2 weeks here in this library. Also, we'll have a New Year celebration, something. It will be on our meeting in 1 month, something, 20th of December, and we will have a New Year party. All Toastmasters community will have, and it will be 27th of December. So, and celebrate. That's it.
Conference. See you.
Conference. Yes, of course. Thank you for this reminder. We will have a conference this Saturday. If you wish to support our contestants, participants, Valeria and other Valeria, not Valeria. Yeah, we are finishing. Yeah. So come here. Do you have questions?
Yes, I have a question. What else will be there at the conference?
Also,
Besides
it will be 2 workshops. The first one will be something about evaluation, and the second workshop will be about the critical thinking. So if you would like to again support our participants or just enjoy this day, come to Marina Rocha. Basically, you probably maybe already done it, and you maybe saw some announcements because Irina sent already to our Telegram channel. So take a photo, guys. Come on stage, and we will have fun. I hope you will have fun next time. Yeah. Anyway.
Открылись умничку.
Готовы?
Готовы.
Спасибо. Спасибо большое.
Все, мы убегаем.
Холодкова, значит, речь она заболела.
Maybe shall I discuss in the chat?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I'm in Telegram chat. I am here. Like, just give me the name, like how I can write, and then we'll discuss all the details. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to take your phone number. I already have.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
yes.
no problem.
It's just,
I will have
yeah, thank you so much.
and give you some.
It was awesome. Have a nice day.
Давай, давай.
Дорогие мои, пожалуйста, можно собрать, выйти, и там все время уже без 10 минут.
Катя, он всегда так с кем складывается?